Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing fork seals on my Yamaha Dt175. I'm going to be going through a step-by-step process on how to replace the fork seals. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to remove this cotter pin and this nut, which will allow the bolt to come off of the forks, and we'll go ahead and remove the tire. So we got the nut off of the wheel bolt and the washer. So now all you have to do is come to the other side and loosen the bolts on the bottom of the fork. Okay, so we went ahead and completely removed this cap off of the fork. That way we could remove the Allen bolt that's underneath these forks. We're gonna go ahead and loosen these Allen bolts before we take off or loosen the top cap. Okay, so I loosened the fork support bolts right here, and now we're just gonna twist the fork out. Okay, so we have the complete fork out. So before we completely loosen the top one out, we're gonna loosen the bottom hex bolt. So we have it completely out. I'm gonna put it back in just so the fluid doesn't leak out, and then just completely unthread the top. There you go. This is the top piece that compresses onto the spring. So now take the bottom bolt out completely. I think in this one we have fluid. So just in case we have fluid in here. Yeah, I knew it. And then we're gonna take this spring out, set it aside, and then you can take the tube out of the fork housing. You can see all the old oil coming out. Okay. Drain. You can take this part out, so that way you could slide it out of this part out. Now you could take out the other part inside the tube, and then we're gonna go ahead and show you how to remove the seals. So to remove the actual fork seal, you're gonna have to come in right here, and there's a little snap ring. You could get a little pick like this and just come in through the inside to where the gap is. Be careful because flies. So once you have it out like that, you could kind of work your way out around. That comes out. So there's a snap ring, and then there's another washer underneath it. It's important you don't forget to put that back. And then after the snap ring is out and the washer is out, you could get your pry tool and then take this seal out. Alright guys, so the next step after you remove the snap ring and the washer is you're going to want to go ahead and remove the seal. I'm using a seal puller. You can find these on Amazon for like 10-12 bucks. So what I do, I just put a rag on whatever way you're prying so you don't mar up the housing. And you just put it on the edge, and then you just carefully pry on it. On the top, we put a little bit of oil to help us drive the seal in easier. So we just got a socket that fits around the seal pretty nicely, and we're just gonna tap it evenly around until it bottoms out. All right, so we got the new fork seals in. We got the fork tube in back to the inside, back to the housing. So now we're gonna fill it with oil. The Dt175 use fork oil 10 weight, and it takes 145 milliliters per fork. We use this I use this measuring cup just to make sure that the correct amount of oil is going into the fork. So once you fill it with 145 milliliters, you want to just work it up and then back down, and you'll hear some of the air bubbles coming out. And then back down. You do that a couple of times, and then you're pretty much good to go to put the spring back in and the top cap. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and put the fork spring back in. We're gonna go ahead and plop that back in. Then the little spacer with the retainer on the top. And then just put a little bit of fork oil on the top cap seal so it doesn't get pinched. And then just compress it down onto the fork.